You're listening to The Jake Asman Show on the Sports Map Radio Network.
Presented by Rocket Mortgage.
Live from the O'Reilly Auto Parts Studios, here's Jake Asman.
Is this heaven? I don't think I heard you. Is this heaven? Yes, it is.
Short lead by Sebi. The pitch is hit in the air. Deep to right. That ball is gone. White Sox win. The Field of Dreams.
Is this heaven? It's Iowa. The call on White Sox radio, of course, Kevin Costner at the beginning in the introduction before the Field of Dreams game, which was just spectacular by MLB. Thursday night was the best night that MLB has had in the regular season in a long, long time. And the ratings back it up. It was baseball's highest rated regular season game in 16 years. 16 years. It's 1 of 162 for both the White Sox and obviously the Yankees. But it felt bigger last night. They pulled out all the stops. Big production. They had Joe Buck and John Smoltz on the call. They gave you the A-team. Fox treated that game like it was an NFL game. And Major League Baseball treated that game like it was a postseason game. Like it was a World Series game. That was the feel. It felt big. And that's probably the biggest compliment I could give to MLB for this game. The Field of Dreams game felt big. In the dog days of August, you got to find something. And they found it with the Field of Dreams game. This should be a tradition every year now for Major League Baseball. One idea I had was play the All-Star game there every year. The game's greatest players playing at the Field of Dreams. How cool is that? But then I realized, well, cities and teams, they bid a lot of money to try and get the All-Star game because it brings in a lot of revenue. And as much as we love the people in Iowa, in Dyersville, Iowa, they rather probably put the All-Star game in New York, Chicago, Boston, the bigger cities. But I loved the Field of Dreams game. I thought it was awesome. I'm a Yankees fan, so obviously the end result of the game was not what I had in mind. But as a baseball fan, if you can't appreciate that, then come on. That was unbelievable. The fact that the baseballs were actually hit into the corn is incredible. The entrances for both the teams coming out through the cornfields like in the movie, it was perfect. And then on top of all that, you had an all-time game. White Sox take the lead. Yankees respond. White Sox take the lead. Yankees then come back in the ninth with huge home runs from their two best offensive sluggers and Aaron Judge and Giancarlo Stanton, just for Tim Anderson to end the game with one swing in the bottom of the ninth. It's just an unbelievable game on top of the fact that the aesthetic value of playing this game at the Field of Dreams could not have gone better for MLB. It was sensational. Tim Anderson, after the game, was asked about the walk-off home run. And this was the White Sox star reflecting back on his home run.
Definitely a pretty cool moment, all around. Being able to walk it off is definitely, one of my best moments of my career for sure.
One of the best moments of his career, no doubt. I mean, those players, those coaches, anyone who got a chance to be there will remember that forever. I mean, it's awesome. It really is. I think every sport should try and do something like what baseball did. And to hockey's credit, the NHL does its Winter Classic every year. Remember the Lake Tahoe series this past year? It was amazing. Like, what would be the equivalent for football? I mean, football is tough because the field, the dimensions look the same no matter what. Like football, you can't play in some parking lot somewhere. I mean, Lambeau Field is kind of like the Field of Dreams in and of itself. We have that. So football's tough, but I can give you what the basketball equivalent of the Field of Dreams game would be. The basketball equivalent would be playing an NBA game at Rucker Park in New York. You have the Lakers and the Bucks, or the Lakers and the Nets, I guess it would be.
Yeah, it'd be like Knicks and Nets.
You got to have the Nets. You probably got to have Knicks and Nets probably makes the most sense. But you got to play that game at Rucker Park. Like, that would be the equivalent. Hockey could also play a game at Lake Placid again. Site of the 1980 Olympics, where the U.S., of course, defeated the Soviet Union en route to winning the gold medal. I mean, that was spectacular. Yankees lost the game, but even Aaron Boone had to acknowledge how cool it was to be part of the game on Thursday.
That's probably the greatest setting for a baseball game that I've ever been a part of. It was awesome.
I mean, what else can you say? It was awesome. Having Costner there in the booth for a couple innings, it felt big. The game lived up to the hype. It was about a perfect night, as you could get for Major League Baseball. And look, I've killed MLB as much as anyone. I've been very critical of the commissioner. I've been very critical of the sticky stuff crackdown and the way it was done and what happened with Scherzer in the middle of an inning getting like I ripped baseball off this year. They got it right. Field of Dreams game was a massive success. A lot of baseball fans watch their team and their team only. Astros fans watch the Astros. Mets fans watch the Mets. Brewers fans watch the Brewers. Are you tuning in, though, to other games? It's not like football where you'll watch anything. Like Brewers Pirates on a Tuesday night. If you're not a fan of either one of those teams, are you watching it? Probably not, right? But if I tell you it's Packers Steelers playing, are you watching it? Hell yeah, you are. So that's what football has over baseball. So baseball has to try and counter that by coming up with creative ways to get people engaged in the regular season. And that's what this was on Thursday. It was a brilliant game. It was a brilliant night for the sport. Excellent viewers. They made it feel big. Here's my suggestion for next year. A little outside the box, but let's get wild here on the Jake Asman Show on a Saturday here on the great Sports Map Radio. Next year, the two teams that need to play in the Field of Dreams game. The White Sox against the Cincinnati Reds. Why do I want the Reds in the game? It is a rematch of the 1919 World Series where the White Sox were the Black Sox. And remember, the Black Sox, the scandal that ensued, of course, Shoeless Joe Jackson, what Field of Dreams was all about in that movie. You get a chance to induct Shoeless Joe into the Hall of Fame that night and Pete Rose the same night. Put them both in the Hall during next year's Field of Dream game. Rematch of the 1919 World Series because the White Sox would wear the Black Sox jerseys again like they did on Thursday. And you put Pete Rose in the Hall of Fame with Shoeless Joe. And all the outrage, by the way, is still, well, Pete Rose should be in the Hall of Fame. And absolutely he should. But so should Shoeless Joe Jackson. The problem is, anyone that watched the guy play has been dead for 50 years already. So no one's around to argue that he should be in the Hall of Fame because he's dead. And if we don't put Pete Rose in the Hall of Fame soon, the same thing will happen. So MLB, you want to really take it to the next level? White Sox, Reds, rematch of the 1919 World Series. Put Shoeless Joe in the Hall. Put Pete Rose in the Hall. Let's have ourselves a night in Dyersville, Iowa.
And I say, instead of bringing out Costner again, let's go get James Earl Jones. He has a voice made to be in the booth. And him talking about baseball, Ray. That'd be great.
That's a great point. That is a great point. And I wonder, are they paying Kevin Costner to come to this game?
He had to.
They had to pay him a lot.
Because he was doing a lot. He was like warming up. He was throwing. He was the clip we just played. He was in the booth.
They had him there the day before doing all the promo shoots, playing catch on the field with his son. They had him in the booth. They had him talk to the crowd before the game on Thursday. They had to have paid him. I'm sure they'd have to pay him more to come back next year because it was such a big success for MLB, and obviously the ratings were great for Fox. But then you got to get James Earl Jones then. I think, Sean, you're onto something. That's an excellent point. But overall, I mean, if you're a fan of sports, even if you're not a big baseball fan, you watch that game. It was epic. It was a great job by Major League Baseball and Fox and the Yankees and the White Sox. They embraced it. It was outstanding. Now, one thing we got to get into, the debate of, is it have a catch or play catch? I'm an East Coast guy. To me, it was always have a catch. But apparently, maybe it's more of a Midwestern thing. It's play catch. Although Kevin Costner said he thought it was play catch, and he's from California. So go figure. Sean, you have grown up in the Houston area your entire life. Is it play catch or have a catch?
I've always said play catch. That's always been the parlance
And
of
have most of your peers also preferred to
yeah,
it as that?
yeah, in baseball, in the playgrounds with my dad, it was always play catch.
So maybe it is just strictly an East Coast thing. Have
yeah.
catch.
I'm not sure which one is even correct cuz I understand have a catch cuz you're not really playing a game. Like you're just throwing a ball and catching it.
You're having a catch.
Yeah, like it is. I could see this is awful radio. I can see both sides of the argument. I grew up saying play catch though.
We're not letting you ride the fence on this. We only bring the boldest takes here on the program.
Then it's play catch or else you're un-American.
B. Hannon is watching on Twitch and he goes play catch. So at least one person thinks play catch. B. Hannon, I would ask where you're from. So tweet me at Jake Asman. Is it play catch or have a catch? And when you tweet me where you're from, indicate where you're tweeting from or where you grew up.
Yes.
Because to me, it was always have a catch. None of this play catch stuff.
Play catch.
But at least
you don't because y'all don't play in New York.
No, we have. No playing. We have. 800-224-2004 is our number if you want to weigh in on the Field of Dreams game or anything else from that night, which was just once again an exceptional night for Major League Baseball. They deserve a ton of credit, and it's good to see they already said they're bringing it back for next year, as they should. Give me the Reds and the White Sox next year. Give me that 1919 World Series rematch and put Shoeless Joe and Pete Rose into the Hall. That's my big idea. More coming up. Jake Asman with you here on a Saturday. This is the Jake Asman Show here on Sports Map Radio. Right here in Houston, all the talk is still about Deshaun Watson. We have new developments with Deshaun Watson. So let's talk about what the latest is with the Texans quarterback for now here on the Jake Asman Show on Sports Map Radio.
Pharrell.
Coast to coast. We can't get away from LeBron. The Lakers are out. We can't get away from him. Too bad